Hello there and welcome. This is Kinsta, and Kinsta is the company that we use for our hosting. Kinsta is a managed WordPress hosting service, and basically what that means is they're just really kind of a premium option for WordPress hosting. There's a lot of things that they do that are just so cool. So first, I'm just going to kind of give a brief overview of kind of the dashboard and all the information that's at your disposal here. You see we have this overall website here. You can get some information as far as kind of the amount of site visits that you're getting, how much of your content delivery network or CDN usage you're using, how much of the storage you have available and how much you're using, how many sites, etc. Over here, you have a list of some of the websites that you are managing. And if you come in here, you can actually see a little bit more into the websites. As you can see, currently we have 13 out of our 20 available slots that we're using, and here's all the websites that we have in here. Some of them are kind of like development platforms or things where I'm kind of experimenting and doing stuff like that, so that's pretty cool. These little icons here mean if they have an HTTPS or an SSL certificate is HTTPS. That's kind of just this version up here, if you can kind of see here on the website, saying whether or not the site has an SSL certificate, which means it's more secure. And then this is if they're using Kinsta's built-in CDN, and a CDN is a content delivery network that helps things just kind of load a little bit faster. Kinsta has data hubs all over the world, so it makes it nice so that wherever a user is, they can kind of access the files via a local place. So if I want to kind of just come in here and look a little bit more into one of these websites, I can do so. So let me see here. I'll go ahead and I'll take a look in the Gables Assisted Living. So as I'm in here, there's a bunch of information that's at my disposal here. We have things like our logs, right? So we have kind of an error log. If there's ever issues, these are kind of kept, and I can kind of see what's kind of going on and stuff like that, and I can access that here, which is nice. If I come in here, here's just kind of the information as far as if you want to access the website through FTP, here's kind of all the information here that you need to be able to make that happen. If you ever need to transfer the site to a different Kinsta account, we can do that. We can delete the website here. Please never do that one. I don't think we should ever need that. But also, it's kind of cool. One of the things I really, really appreciate about Kinsta is the fact that they have different environments for the website. So if we ever need to do testing, well, we can come here and we can hop into this staging environment where we can go and we can do tests and run all sorts of experiments. And then once we're done, if everything's working the way it needs to, then we can push that staging to live, which is really, really, really cool. You can come in here and into the domains, and you can access the back of WordPress directly from here. Just by clicking that button, it'll open up a new tab, and you'll have access here to log into the back end there of the website, which is pretty awesome. Also, it just kind of keeps record of all the different domains that are associated with this property. And so we have the normal, or the without the www version, the www version, and then by default, Kinsta will provide kind of these little environments and stuff like that that the website is posted in. So that's kind of important. That can be valuable to use at different times. So if you come in here to the backups, this one's kind of cool. So Kinsta by default will keep a track record of backups every day, which is fantastic, right? And it'll keep them for about 20 days and then delete them. This is nice because, if let's say the site was hacked or something like that, well, chances are we can just restore to a previous version from the other day onto the live site, and then sometimes that'll be enough to fix the hack, and then we can kind of find what it may have been that caused the issue to begin with. But that is kind of a nice little safety net. Or if you're editing something and things just go absolutely bonkers, you don't know exactly what happened, there is this nice little safety net here. If you ever need to, you can actually do a manual version. You can come in here and hit backup now, and then you can leave a little note saying why you backed it up. You could say, well, I'm testing kind of some of the plugins. I want to make sure that I have this version. You can save that, which is kind of nice. Also, if you want to, you can hook it up to kind of like an external hard drive or something of that nature, or kind of these other places where it will, you can actually download these backups and save them physically if you want to. Kind of cool. To come in here into the tools tab, we have a few things. The clear cache, right? So if for some reason you make a change on the website and it's not showing or not displaying because your browsers will kind of save a version of it, you can clear the cache and kind of say, all right, anything you're holding on to, any of these old files, just delete them. Restart PHP, frankly, I've never needed to use that, thank goodness. So I'm hoping that will always be the case. WordPress debugging, I've never used this either, but you know, it just kind of gives you a chance to be able to kind of use some advanced features there within WordPress to do some troubleshooting if you need to. Search and replace, this is, you know, if you need to change some kind of a URL or something like that and just want to do it pretty easily here, well, then that's fantastic. And also if you're moving to a new domain, which is kind of nice, right? If we're doing that kind of switch, this tool can make that happen. New Relic monitoring, never used that one either. Password protection, never really used that either. SSL certificate, we use that on every website. You can come in here and then you can create a new SSL certificate for those sites that are not using it. And then you can force the HTTPS. So if there's for some reason that there's an HTTP version and the HTTPS, you can just say automatically redirect to all HTTPS versions, please. And so a lot of other cool little things in here, right? So redirects. This is kind of cool. I mean, you can add a redirect rule if you need to here. We also use kind of WordPress plugins to be able to facilitate this as well. So this is not too terribly important, but it can be. WP plugins. So you can actually, without even going to the website, you can see all the different plugins that are on the website, which is nice. And then you can also see which ones are needing updates and stuff like that. So really cool if you don't want to have to access the websites individually to be able to kind of see, you know, what updates may be needed and stuff like that. IP deny, if you want to be blocking certain IP addresses, you know, maybe it's a spammer, maybe, you know, a bot or something like that, because that can be bad because if they're hitting your site really aggressively, then they're kind of using up your site's bandwidth and making it so actual users cannot necessarily get to them. So sometimes that can be beneficial. I've never really had an issue with that, but I could definitely see how that's helpful. Kinsta, content delivery network. This is cool, and it's honestly really, really easy to set up. You know, if it's not set up, you just have to come in here and then hit this little switch, and that's kind of auto-enabled for you, which is nice and kind of makes it so your website loads a little bit faster. I have seen that increase page speed. Monitoring, you know, I'm currently not using this, but this is kind of a new feature, as you can see here by this little beaker symbol here, kind of letting us know that they're kind of testing that out. Haven't used that, but all in all, really, really cool things. Migrations, in here, you can actually request, if you have kind of the hosting information and the login credentials and stuff like that, you can actually bring over a website from another hosting, right? So if you have a website on Bluehost or something, or GoDaddy or anything else, you want to get it pulled over, no problem. They can make it happen for you, which is really, really cool. And as you can see here, I've used it multiple times myself. Really is an absolutely fantastic tool that I really, really enjoy. They do have some premium credits. So a lot of times they will actually migrate the websites completely for free, which is fantastic. But that's assuming you have a few things. You're able to access your hosting without having to do any kind of verifications or anything like that. So if they're able to get into your hosting, your domain name registrar, and the back end of your WordPress site, then chances are they can migrate it 100% for free, which is fantastic. And they do a great job. I've never had an issue. I had a kind of a tricky situation here on this particular one that I used the premium request premium migration option, and it worked really, really well, even though it was really kind of a tricky situation. Kinsta DNS. So GoDaddy and different things like this, they have DNS settings. They have kind of those domain settings in the back end of their platform, which is great. Now, if you don't want to use their DNS options for one reason or another, you can actually use Kinsta's service as well. It is kind of a premium domain name service, and I think it's fantastic. I think it works really, really well. So you just can kind of add the domain, add whatever it is, and then if they're using Gmail, by default, you can just click this and it'll auto generate those MX records for you, which is really nice if and only if they're using that. If not, you need to be a little bit more careful and kind of just be aware of what you're doing there. But it really is super fantastic. This is a nice option. It is kind of an alternative to something like Cloudflare or something like that. Also, Cloudflare, I believe, is a CDN as well. So kind of a nice service there that I enjoy using. As you can see here, I have all of these websites that are in here that I am currently hosting. And that's great. And then what you do is then you just change the name servers on the other website and you add these 4 records in there in the name servers, and then you can manage all the DNS settings in here, which is nice if you're hosting here. And then you can also have your client's DNS settings in here, even if the domains themselves aren't necessarily maintained and registered in here. Kind of nice. Other than that, there's just kind of some different data that they keep and monitor for you and different things like that. I haven't really needed to spend a whole lot of time in here, mostly because the clients that I have are kind of smaller websites, so and companies and stuff like that. So I don't really run into huge issues of using the CDN a lot or different aspects of that. But can be kind of nice, especially so you can kind of see if there is perhaps some kind of a server error that's happening that maybe on Kinsta's end that's making the website load a little bit slower. But all in all, some really, really good things that are in here. You can also just kind of see the external backups. You can have access to all the invoices and stuff like that, but mostly for your responsibilities, you won't need that. But really, really pretty cool stuff in general. So if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Have a good one. Bye.